So you're saying that masculinity has to be intentional.
Yes.
It is not a biological function.
You can't stumble your way into masculinity. You can't.
Yeah.
If you're not intentional. Let me tell you, this was my story.
Yes.
This was my story, Ken.
Yeah.
The way I discovered I was grossly lacking is when I completed my high school, and during that time it was the post-election violence, and I realized that there were certain qualities in me that I would consider masculine that were not in me. So one, my family was caught in the post-election violence, and where we lived, the Mungiki came and they wanted to slaughter people and kill people. And I remember we ran for safety to this clubhouse, and I remember they said all the men, all the men 18 years and above step out, all the women and the children were locked inside, and the men were told fight. So here I am with my dad, my sisters and my brother have been put into this room because we're all under 18, and my sister was over 18, but she's a woman, so all the women and all the people under 18, so I'm here with my dad, and these guys are coming, and they've got pangas, they've got, the classic Mungiki style of slaughtering machetes, and they're coming, and here we are these men, and I am seeing men who are ready to fight. Some of them are scared. Okay. In fact, some of them were very scared. There was this big man next to me, his knees were knocking. But his knees were knocking. And I remember I told my dad, I don't want to die. And he told me, son, either way you die, death comes for us all. And if today is the day, you make sure your sisters and your brother don't taste that death. Make sure you sacrifice your life for them. And I thought, I'm not dead. I am not dead than Kimathi. I am not a founding father. Why am I dying for people? Why? I am not. No. What? I was scared. I have never been so scared in my life. Yes. Death was coming, and these guys are coming, and we had stones and sticks, and we had a kitchen knife. One of us had a kitchen knife. We're thinking we'll be slaughtered. It will be a bloodbath. And I realized, one, first of all, I don't think I have reconciled myself with death. I don't think I am ready to die. And I realized then if I'm not ready to die, the other question is, what am I living for?
What are you born for?
What was I born for? Why is it that I don't want to die? Why do I want to exist? But the problem is that when that question was deflected, I couldn't answer it.
And that's the hardest question to ever ask a man.
And I realized, is there a cause worth dying for? All right. When I got into university, I began to realize that apart from that whole question about the meaning of life, which I didn't have as a man, I also realized I did not have certain masculine characteristics. And I would say I judged myself based on my interactions with other men. So I'd sit with other men, and men would talk about, hey, man, there's that moti that has come, and I'm thinking, hey, imagine it's a 4 liter. It's a 4 liter. I'm thinking, why are we measuring cars in 4 liters?
Girls, gold, and glory comes back in.
It came back in. And I kept thinking, oh, man, I'm lacking here and there. I realized men would have conversations about, hey, we did this weekend. People would have hobbies, things that they would do with their lives. People talk about, this weekend, we are doing this with our fathers. I'm thinking, what? People would talk about, they're having financial problems, but they've decided to invest money. And I'm thinking, I don't know how to do any of these things. And I just felt like I was grossly lacking as a man. So the search for masculinity began. I remember spending a lot of time just Googling, asking myself,
looking for knowledge.
And
does it mean that we are raising a generation of boys and men who don't have mentors, or the dads have absconded their duties? One of the lines in that report says that a boy or a man has got access to a smartphone more than access to a dad. So the question is, who is really mentoring?
And that report calls them the lost boys. The lost boys. And I realized I was a lost boy. I did not know what masculinity was, so I realized there was a knowledge gap, and I'm comparing myself to the counterparts, the women. The women seem to have figured things out. So I realized my masculinity must be intentional. I'll tell you what I did. I looked for books. I looked for content online. I looked for people who could shape my masculinity. Every 2 weeks, I'd go meet my uncle, and he would disciple me.
You looked for him, or he looked for you?
He initially reached out to me and offered to help me in my spiritual journey. And I said yes to him. And when I said yes to him, I began to meet him every 2 weeks. And with him reaching out to me, even if he didn't reach out to me, I would have reached out to him because I was in that crisis. And I used to go to his house every 2 weeks together with my other cousins and would be taught things concerning our spiritual growth. And that spiritual growth poured a lot into my masculinity because it helped me shape my character as a man. I began to realize there are things that men are expected to do. You know, men are expected to lead. When you read the Bible, men are given the mandate to lead, to offer direction. And I began to grasp into that. I began to hang out with other men in my school who I felt, arguably, this man, I can learn something from him. I became friends with them. Some of them were not even believers. Some of them were not even people of my faith, but I just hung out with them.
But they were well raised, well brought up. You can learn something from them.
And I sat with them and I began to just glean things. I began to read books. The number of books I read, oh my goodness.
You built your capacity.
I built my capacity.
And I think men in this world think you just become a man because you have a genitalia. And it's not about having the genitals, but it's being intentional in reading good books, getting mentors like your uncle. Now, a question. What then defines a true man?
All right, good.
Who is a man?
So it's not girls, it's not gold, it's not glory. I will start by saying a man must go back to his blueprint, original blueprint. Right? You must go back to the place of understanding who your creator is. Who is the big G? And for me, the big G is God. That I must go back and admit that, first of all, there's a man bigger than me. That I will not fight the man bigger than me. And I believe it's counterproductive to your masculinity to fight the bigger man than you. And so for me, I had to make peace.
Mwenye
nguvu mpishe. I had to say, I am submitted to my God. I am submitted to the authority of my creator. A man becomes a man when he submits to a bigger man. And so that's the first thing about my masculinity. Out of that masculinity, I would say 5 pillars, and I got this from Simon Beve's book, Man Enough. 5 pillars that bring out true masculinity out of the foundation of God. Okay, that a real man takes initiative. A real man lives responsibly. A real man leads sacrificially. A real man loves faithfully. And a real man leaves a legacy. Those are the 5 things.
Well, I went through the same program and I totally concur.
So taking initiative, that men don't watch as the world burns. Men don't take the position of Adam, seeing Eve eat the fruit and sit back. Men are proactive. Men act. Men have to attend to problems. Men have to fight evil. Jordan Peterson says, the world needs dangerous men. And a dangerous man is a good man. He said a man who's not dangerous is not a good man. Because a dangerous man can stop evil. A man who's not dangerous cannot stop evil. Evil will go unabated because there are men who are not dangerous.
The kind of men who see no evil, hear no evil, do nothing.
For evil to persist, it's because there are no strong men to counter it. Okay, and suppose say, if I'm a dangerous man, then I'll be harmful to society. No, a dangerous man only wields his power for good. All right. Our policemen have guns. When you see a policeman, do you run away? Do you run away? Oh my goodness, he has a gun. No, because you understand that authority he has wields that gun for your protection, not for your destruction. And so a man who's dangerous is a man with power, but he uses that power to counter evil. He takes initiative. He stands against darkness. All right. And so if you are not a dangerous man, well, you're just a harmless man. You're not virtuous. You're just harmless. Okay. And that means you must grow healthy power. All right.
I
believe it is important for men to be physically healthy. Become physically to be physically
to do the push-ups we did.
Do the
and
push-ups.
Much more.
Be physically healthy, because you cannot take initiative if you have no physical health. All right. I believe it is important for men to be concerned about their emotional health. Because if you're not emotionally healthy, you can't think about the vast areas of your life. Okay, where are you not intentional in growing yourself? And I'm not saying that you must be perfect in those areas, but I'm saying you must be progressing.
You must be moving.
You must be moving. All right. So we are not going to say that the man with the abs is the manliest, but you're going to say the one who's intentional about his health, the one who's intentional about his emotional health, his spiritual health, the one who's intentional. He's the one who's growing. He's the one who's manly, and he takes initiative. He can stand against evil. A real man lives responsibly. To live responsibly means that you are able to choose the important over the urgent.
Yes.
You're able to do the right thing. You're able to say no to your lustful desires because you are thinking about the covenant with your wife to live responsibly.
Yeah, because the truth is, every man, when you see a beautiful woman, you'll notice.
It happens.
But now you have to make a decision.
Yeah, and so they'll always be there.
In fact, one of my favorite writers and speakers, he died, Miles Monroe.
Yes.
He says that every morning you make a decision to be married.
Yes.
You're already married.
Wow. I love that.
Every day you fight for your marriage.
And you know what you're doing? You're living responsibly. Exactly. You're basically saying the urgent feeling of going to katia that girl is not as important as the important feeling I will have after I have married this woman and I've committed for years and I have been a good mother to them and I've got successful children.
Yes.
All right? A real man leads sacrificially. There is no masculinity without sacrifice. Men must be at the forefront in offering direction. And that direction must be selfless. There's a kind of leadership that is selfish, where I will only offer direction if it benefits me at the end of the day. The leaders that we really, really value in human history, the men, are men who offer themselves selflessly. Some of them even to their own lives. And that is why for me, the man Jesus Christ is the greatest epitome of sacrifice and masculinity, because at the cost of his life, he brought about salvation to the human race. And so that is an example of masculinity. It's a mirror of masculinity that I become manly when I sacrifice. And let me tell you, there's a joy in sacrificing for your wife and your children. There's a joy. There's a joy. There's a masculine joy that you get when you work so hard and you sacrifice and you give to them. And of course, the assumption there is, because I know some men will go like, oh, now we sacrifice, but these people are never grateful. So now you see, part of going back to living responsibly is that you marry the right kind of woman.
Because if you start with the wrong footing, then you're not going to.
If you don't do this first two, then this will be futile. Then loves faithfully. Okay, that a man can actually be consistent in his devotion to the ones that he cherishes.
Can a man love a woman who earns more than him?
He can, if his identity is.
Because I know men are facing this issue
if
right
his
now.
Identity
the man
is grounded.
Really,
if his identity is grounded, only if his identity is grounded. Because when your identity is grounded, you understand that your masculinity is not dependent on your paycheck. Your paycheck can come and go. Your paycheck can be taken away by COVID. Therefore, are you less of a man? But if your masculinity is rooted in something more superior, then you'll realize man is just a tool. And in fact, you look at that woman with the money as an advantage to your family. And you'll realize. So
you will be praying for her to get promoted and not having this infighting or competing with your spouse.
Ken, when I got married, I was earning twice as much as my wife was. Okay? And then after that, she quit her job and I was the only breadwinner. Then after that, she got another job. I was still earning twice as much as she was. Okay? Then she was at home for some time. We had no kids. I was the only one bringing in an income. Okay? Then she got headhunted by a multinational and she didn't want to apply. And I knew she gets this job, she's going to earn good money. But I encouraged her. She was like, no, I don't want to apply. You know, these guys, the kind of work that they do, you know, just the issues with the corporate world. I told her, do it. It will grow your career. It will grow as a person. And I nudged her. She applied. She was being paid twice as much as I was earning. All right? Did it make me treat her any differently? No. I encouraged her. All right. As we went on, I quit my job. She was earning more than me. And then after some time, she was declared redundant. I was earning more than her. All right?
So it's seesaw.
Afterwards, she got another job. She was earning more than me. I wrote my next book. I started earning more than her. And then after that, she got a promotion, started earning more than me. And then I wrote my next book, started earning some money, but not as much as her. COVID hit. I lost all my income. She lost 50% of her income. All right. For the first time in the marriage in COVID, I was not bringing in any money. We're dependent on her salary. All right. We even had to move out and look for a smaller place to stay.
And she was still able to love you and respect you and honor you.
Why? Because, and if I may just get into marriage for a bit. There's a man by the name of Dr. Gary Thomas. He says in his book, A Lifelong Love, that generally men view marriage as the end of a long marathon. And generally, women view marriage as the beginning of a long marathon. So when men get married, they go like, finally we've arrived. Let's keep on. Let's relax, you know. And they're saying we've pursued, we've gone for shows, we've done all that, we've bought. Let's relax. Women go like, all that was warm up. Now the real marathon begins.
Let's begin.
And so he says, before marriage, power belongs to the woman, because the woman must say yes to the man for there to be a marriage. Right? Yes. But after marriage, power shifts to the man. All right? And women normally want husbands to keep taking them on dates the way they were doing when they were boyfriends.
We keep chasing them.
Yeah. And so you feel like husband 1.0, husband 2.0. Husband 1.0 is a downgrade from boyfriend 2.0.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so power shifts the woman and says, he begs to stereotype, what can happen is that you can get a child.
Yeah.
And what will happen, the woman will devote all her attention to this child.
Yes.
All right? And the man will feel like, wait, the attention you used to give me, how come this child has taken all of it? Now power shifted to the woman. And he says, in a marriage, power will always shift. Another child will come, will realize more responsibilities lie to one person will have more power than the other. One of you will get a job promotion, you'll be more financially lucrative than the other, you'll have more power. One of you may get an inheritance, you'll have more power. One of you, and says, power keeps shifting in a marriage. What is the thing that makes you have a long-lasting marriage is when you share the power. That in your time of power, you share the power. You don't use your power to oppress your partner. But in a moment of power, if you oppress your partner, they remember. So for example,
they will not forget.
They'll not forget.
Yes.
So in the early years of marriage, if a man does not intentionally take care of his bride, take her out on dates, she remembers. When the child comes, right, that attention that she was longing for, she gets from the child, right? If she uses that season of power and she does not give full attention to her husband, he will feel powerless. If the man gets more money and he does not use that money for the marriage for the wife, guess what? She will remember. If the woman gets a promotion, or if the man is jobless and she uses her financial power to belittle the man, then he will remember. And so marriages fall apart, and people in institutions like marriage get to their demise because you weaponized your powerful season. You weaponized it. And so when I was going through that season with my wife, at no point did I ever weaponize the amount of power I had over her. She remembers. When she got the power, she was more than willing to share it with me. And why did I not weaponize?
Because it's only natural if you didn't share power with me. Even if you're born again chasing demons, when you get your chance, you will weaponize that power.
So I had proved myself as a man, saying, okay, all the money I have, I will never use it to weaponize you or to weaponize it against you. I will never oppress you with it. When she got more money than me during COVID was the time test that my wife honored me. We
celebrate you back there at home, man.
But really, we celebrate her. So what am I trying to say? The only reason I was able not to weaponize that power is because I'm grounded in my masculinity. I'm not trying to...
Your identity does not come from money.
It's not dependent on the money. All right?
Yes.
All right? Right now, as we speak, my wife is out of work. I am the sole breadwinner. I'm the only one bringing in an income right now in my family. All right? So all the bills are on me. All right? The school fees is on me. Everything is on me. She's turning to me. All right? If I use this season to oppress her, to frustrate her, because for some reason my masculinity is shifty here, there, then she will remember. Who knows what will happen next year?
Very well said. And by the way, even in my marriage, I've had the same experience. There are days when I was earning more. There are days when she was earning more. There are days I didn't earn anything, and she took care of me. And when she was not earning, I took care of her. So we are, and I agree with you, we look at money as a tool and not an end in itself.
So if someone asks you, Ken, who earns more? The answer is when.
You'll have to really dig because you cannot remember.
And finally, so a real man leaves a legacy. What will you be remembered for? What will you be remembered for? Most men are remembered for the problems they create, not the problems that they solve. I want to be remembered for the problems I solved, not the ones I created.
Very, very powerful quote. We want to be remembered for the problems we solve, not the problems we create. Legacy.
Legacy. What you leave behind. What will be said of you when you die? What will you be remembered as one who stood against things or one who stood for something? All right. And even if you stood against something, was it virtuous in that stand? All right. Will you be remembered as one who was bitter, angry, frustrated, or will you be remembered as the one who took their bitterness, turned it into healing, and raised other men? I want to be remembered. If you ask me my mission as a man, I would call myself the repairer of the breach. Okay, inspired by Isaiah 58.
That's your purpose as Ernest.
That's my purpose, to restore broken things.
Yeah.
And when I look at my life, throughout my life, from the moment I was a kid, I was always drawn to things that were broken. You know, people throw away broken toy because me, I'd pick them. I'd want to fix it. I'd want to, you know, when I look at my life in high school, I remember I went to high school and I was so disturbed by the bullying, you know, and I became a prefect. I became deputy school captain. I was so keen to change that system of bullying, you know. I remember defending from my fellow Form 4s. I remember my fellow Form 4s hating me because I defended some Form 1s. And for me, I wanted to repair that broken breach, you know.
And it gives you a high sense of satisfaction.
Yeah.
And you feel useful and purposeful.
And that happens because I connected to the big G, God. Because once you connect to God, he does not just make you a generic man. He finds the thing he made you for. Because you see, Ken, the way you are made and the way I was made, yes, we are both men, but there's a way we are distinctly designed. And you must get that from the Creator. So I got that. So when even I got to pornography and the Lord healed me, when I got out, I was not just satisfied that I'm free. I said, no, is there anyone else who's broken? Because I am wired to help them get out of it, to be healed, you know. And so even that's why my wife and I are drawn towards the kind of ministry that helps broken marriages. Okay, so I'm a repairer of the breach. I'm a restorer of that which is broken, and that happens to the power of God that lives inside of me. I would not get to that place where my masculine identity is strong, it is sure, if I didn't intentionally work on myself and get to a place where I needed the help of the big man.
Amazing story. And I was in Nairobi Chapel listening to you preach about men, women, and pornography.
Yes.
And I was really touched by your story. And I like that you are now converting many men, you know, helping them to understand that they can break their addiction. In light of men's propensity to screens and gadgets and watching football and gaming, and you've heard of the new problem now, you have gaming disorders. And men's appetite for watching. What makes men focus on that more than women? And how do we practically help the boy child and the men to control gaming? Should we say no more PS5 or no more Nintendo? How can we practically help these boys from that lens?
All right, so I think we first must diagnose the problem. If I could underline the problem, it would be cheap dopamine. Cheap dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone. It's what makes us feel good, makes us feel, whenever we eat good food, whenever we do something that makes us feel great, that's dopamine, right? Now, if you get cheap dopamine, what is cheap dopamine? You must start by asking yourself, what is the right kind of dopamine? The right kind of dopamine, the way God has created us, is that we experience pleasure when we go through a reward cycle. What does the reward cycle look like? Input, process, reward. That's the reward cycle. Very simple. Input, commit yourself to start something. Process, go through it. Reward, succeed and get it. For example, input, register for a course, all right, at the university. Process, go for training for 4 years. Okay. Reward, graduate. When you graduate, you're more marketable. Dopamine. That's healthy kind of dopamine. You can program your brain to be used to healthy kind of dopamine. However, the danger of our time is that in our time, we are, and I think compared to any other generation in human history, our time is filled with a predisposition to cheap dopamine. Cheap dopamine only has input, reward. There's no process. There's no process. So the process is the hard work. All right. So for example, the right way, if you'd ask me, according to God's standard for my masculinity, Ernest, do you want to enjoy the body of a woman? Do you see a beautiful woman? Do you want to enjoy sexual relations with her? Yes, Lord, I would like to. He tells me, all right, Ernest, input, process, reward. Input, meet a girl. Okay. Process, get to know her. Get to know her friends, get to know her about her, ask her out, she becomes a girlfriend, get to meet her family, get to know more about her, develop a relationship, propose to her, she says yes, plan a wedding, invite your friends, get married, have sex with her. Now look at where the dopamine is coming. Now look at this process. Someone go like, oh my gosh, that's too long. That's too long. Our generation is a generation that cannot wait. That cannot wait. And so the alternative to that process I've given today, the easiest alternative today is pornography. Pornography is, I'm feeling horny, what do I want? Input, switch on my laptop, buffer, watch pornography. There is no process. As a result, your brain does produce the dopamine, but it's a dopamine that is devoid of process. And so your brain, as a man, is conditioned to believe that whenever you want something, you can get it without process.
Yeah.
And so what happens when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling cortisol, when you look for dopamine. And the only dopamine your brain knows, your brain does not know anything about healthy dopamine. It only knows cheap dopamine. So what do? You run to this cheap pleasure. Screens are cheap dopamine. Screens are cheap dopamine.
Yeah.
When you are feeling, again, let's go back to listen, lonely, idle, stressed, tired, emotional, nonchalant. And nonchalant, we didn't talk much about it. It's basically when life has not gone your way and you just don't
You don't have a job.
You don't have a job. Rent has not been paid. The landlord is calling you. Your girlfriend has left you. Your bills have been paid. Your mom has died. Your cat has died. Life is just hard for you as a man.
Yeah.
And so you go.
And the only thing you have is a phone.
Yeah, phone. So
with data and high-speed internet in Kenya.
So men who high speed, we've got really good internet.
It's the ecosystem.
So when men are lonely, idle, stressed, tired, emotional, nonchalant, all right, you see, like the women, we've not been predisposed to connect with people, so this thing becomes very attractive to us.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't help that there are some innate weaknesses that men have. Just the same way women can have some innate weaknesses, okay? The Bible says women are more innately predisposed to nagging. That is an innate...
And they've been warned about it.
They've been warned about it, okay?
Yeah.
There are some also warnings that men are given innately, and I'm just going to mention them, then we come to a close. Number one, passivity.
Yeah.
Masculine passivity is an innate weakness that lives in every man, and every man must fight it actively.
Yeah.
And cheap dopamine enhances that passivity.
Yeah.
It does not make you proactive.
Just sitting there and doing nothing.
Just doing nothing, not fighting. And then the next one is arrogance. Okay, the whole idea of dismissing things when things don't go your way, not taking responsibility, trying to blame other people and not taking that responsibility. Okay,
we need to man up.
Yeah, the next one is covering up.
Yeah,
when we mess up in life, we don't take responsibility. You ask me, who was that woman you were with last night? Deal with this guy for me.
Yeah.
We cover up sins.
You become very rude and arrogant to your wife when she discovers you have condoms in the house or wherever.
Yeah, you try to cover it up.
Extremely crazy.
You know? The next one is a sense of deflection. What do I mean? Or maybe rationalization. Let me call it rationalization, where we've got a weakness in one area, but we rationalize because you're doing well in this area, then we are okay. So you say, okay, fine, I'm not faithful to my wife, but at least I'm a present father. Those two things are not necessarily the same thing. You can be a good father but a horrible husband. Exactly, you're rationalizing. And then of course, finally, when we are convenient, we are lazy, we look for the easiest way out. Those things are innate in us as men, and we need to actively fight them. Those things pull us down as men. All right. And if I had time, I could go into all the 5 examples of biblical examples of men that embody those kinds of weaknesses, but we don't have time for that. I'll just wrap up by saying you must wage war on your weak masculinity. Every man must wage war on your weak masculinity. You must wake up and tell yourself, listen, all right? The problem is not society. The problem is not the women. The problem is not the government empowerment plan. The problem is not racism.
Not internet.
The problem is not the internet.
Or the phone.
The problem is not Mark Zuckerberg. Listen, okay? I would have been farther in life if I was only a man who was worth my own salt. If I grasped discipline, if I anchored my masculinity on something greater. I am my own worst enemy. And I am going to fight my flesh. I am going to fight me. I am not going to resign and look at myself as a victim. I am going to do something about my weak masculinity. Wage war against your weak masculinity. Wage war. Wake up each day and wage war, because it's there. You must die every day. You must wield that sword that kills passivity, that kills arrogance, that kills cover up, that kills rationalization, that kills laziness. You must wage war against it intentionally. Then you'll be a man.
Cannot be said better than that. How I wish we could have gone on and on even for another 1 hour. He's waxing lyrical. Ernest is just a masterpiece, from his writing to his speaking to his passion and the real stories you're sharing. I think I stay with a few things from his presentation and discussion with us. That a man without purpose is rudderless. Like, we need to embrace purpose.
Yes.
We need to embrace discipline. And we need to man up, own up, and wake up every day like a man. Keep it here, keep it locked. We shall meet here again. We shall invite you back. The conversation is just starting. And we want to redeem and redefine manhood and remind all men and women out there that we have to base it on God's principles, and we have to show up even when you don't feel like showing up. See you soon. Thank you, sir.